Before I comment, though, on the technical aspects of the legislation, I just wanted to just comment about the wonderful conversation Senator Cardin and I had with Kathy and other members of the Maryland Chamber to talk about this bill, which takes me to the point that I'm going to make. First of all, on the bill itself, we will follow a regular order in the Senate. That means introduction, a hearing in which all views will be at the table. National organizations will be represented, the National Chamber, the National Association of Manufacturers, other major national organizations from the business community, as well as labor. Then we'll be debating and offering amendments and so on. So the bill you're discussing tonight might not be the bill that we will ultimately be voting on. But what I also wanted to comment upon was the fact that we actually had this meeting. This is what the voters said in November. They not only elected a new president, but they wanted us to have a new attitude and a new tone. They wanted us to actually talk with each other, not at each other. They wanted us to engage in conversation where we actually solve the problems facing America, facing America's business, facing America's families, and facing how are we going to get ahead in the future. And what they said is, for God's sake, even if you disagree, don't be disagreeable. Get into a room and talk things over. The beginning of certainly a dialogue on this very complicated, and I might add, intensely prickly. Feelings run high on both sides. So it is prickly time. And the way we wanted to begin was to have our conversation. What I said to Kathy and the other members who participated was this. First of all, watch the debate in the Senate. I asked for anecdotes about real-world applications about what this would mean, so that I like case examples. I like to wrap my head around it, not in some abstract thing, but in real-world applications. And then I promised, and I think my colleagues would feel the same, that before we took a final vote in the Senate, in other words, when we knew it was coming to the floor, to then review what was actually going to be voted upon with the Maryland Chamber. We'll hear the National Chamber, but I don't represent the National Chamber. I represent 5 million Marylanders.